All right, in this next example, we're going to compare data sets displayed in box plots. So Caitlin and Philip go to neighboring high schools and both are sponsoring charity fundraisers. Caitlin claims that students at her school are raising more for charity than the students at Philip's school. The amounts raised by a random sample of 30 students at each school are shown in the box plots below. Do the data support Caitlin's claim? So when we have box plots, we can focus on our 5-number summary that we saw in lesson 11.1 and kind of think about what that means. So here we have a little chart we can fill in. Caitlin's school is this top box plot and Philip's is the bottom one. So the minimum value for Caitlin we can see is at a 25. And the minimum at Phillips High School is also at a 25. So they have the same minimum value. The maximum value is going to be over here on the right, and those are both going to be the same at 68. So they had students raise a minimum amount the same and a maximum amount the same. The first quartile for Caitlin, so the first quartile is the start of the box on the left. So for her, this is going up to a 32. So her first quartile is 32, while Kyle's is at, over here, he's at a 45. The median is going to be that line down the middle of the box. So for Caitlin, the median amount raised, the very middle amount was 45. For Kyle, it was 50. The third quartile is the end of the box here. All right, so for Caitlin's school, her third quartile was $52 raised, and for Phillips, it was 56. And then we have this interquartile range. We abbreviate that with IQR. So the interquartile range is the range of the quartiles. What is the third quartile minus the first quartile? Visually, kind of what is the distance of the box? What is it from here to here? So for Caitlin's school, the interquartile range was 20, and for Phillips, the interquartile range was 11. So what we want to remember in a box plot is it breaks the data up into quarters. So 25% of the students raised between $25 and $32 for Caitlin. So that's kind of the lower half. 50% of the students raised, what are we at here? Her median was 45, so $45 or below and $45 above, while Kyle's 50% of the students raised $50 or more. So there's a lot of different ways we can compare this data. So some things to note, while the minimum maximum amount of data raised at each school was the same, they both had 25 to 68, the spread of the data did vary. The sample shows that half of the students at Caitlin's school raised between 32 and 52, so half the students is within this box. This is the lower 25%, that's the higher 25%. Half the students at Philip's school raised between 45 and 56, so that's a higher amount right there. Half the students at Caitlin's school, if we focus on just the median, raised $45 or more, while half the students at Philip's school raised $50 or more. So based on these box plots, it does not support Caitlin's claim. In fact, it actually suggests that Philip's school raised more money, individual students raised more money than individual students at Caitlin's school. All right, and then we have just one more follow-up question here. How does the IQR, that's the interquartile range, it's the range of the box, visually of the box plot, how does the IQR of the money donated compare to the range for Caitlin's school and Philip's school? So the range is the maximum minus the minimum. Because they have the same maximum and minimum, their range for both schools is the same. But where we see a difference is the IQR was not the same for both schools. Because the interquartile range was larger for Caitlin's school, Her interquartile range was 20. Her box was wider or longer than Philip's. Um, that means that there's more variability in the money that's raised by students in Caitlyn's school.